Hi, my name's Maddie, and this is the photo I decided to use for the visual presentation. Let's get into it. The image represents a singular moment of time from an Australian Football League match, where the players from both teams are competing for possession of the ball. The image aligns with common tropes and stereotypes surrounding men in sports, reflect reality to a certain degree, as it is only one singular moment in time. Yes, this did happen in a game, so it is considered real, but it's not the total reality of the game. It reflects the pinnacle of the sport, an aspirational moment of elite athletes playing at the highest level in the league. This meaning can be constructed through symbolism of action, as they are demonstrating strength, power, athleticism, and like what a typical masculine man would look like playing sport. Can also construct meaning on the psychological side of the game. The intensity of the players and body language conveys like the emotional aspect of the game. As the individual catches the ball, he is perceived to be dominant, aligning with typical notions of masculinity and assertiveness with men's participation in sport. I would argue that there are many ideologies in men's sport in Australia, specifically surrounding the idea of masculinity and the boys, referring to some of the slides we learned in week 3. Week 3 is required reading imaginations, telling national tales, reinforces this argument around idealized masculinity, drawing on the concept of the working man is everywhere. Furthermore, the figure of the working man is imagined both as a physical type and as someone bound up with a range of qualities. The line in the text of being a certain physical type to be in elite levels of sporting teams suggests men that must be strong, physical, and aggressive to be perceived as masculine and Australian-like. Social semiotics. Okay, social semiotics is displayed in the image I've decided to use. This tool particularly using symbolic communication as a way of creating a deeper meaning towards reality. I would argue that the compositional layer of this image ironically displays the overall concept of class in Australian society, particularly placing emphasis on men having a higher sense of value than women. I believe that instantly viewers' attention is drawn straight to the red AFL ball, which is just at the top of the screen there. The placement of the ball is prominent in the image, naturally being positioned centrally at the top. The player's spatial arrangement and height of jump declines as being further away from the ball, which is the salient image. As noted by Messner, sport was a male-created homosocial cultural sphere that provided men with psychological separation from the perceived feminization of society, while also proving dramatic symbolic proof of the natural superiority of men over women. The gestural signs, such as the body language, the eye contact, are all navigated towards the ball, as seen in the photo. This creates a sense of superiority with being at the top. The interactive layer, such as the point of view that the image was taken, shows the reality of the competitive nature and dynamic abilities in AFL's top league. In the media, these men are viewed as represented as heroes. They're powerful, athletic, have a massive fan base and social media base. While women represented in the mainstream media quoted are represented as sanitized, homogenous, and gross set, reflecting the prevalence of racism and sexism in sports women's representations. Although there are only males captured in the image, I believe that this image does represent an underlying issue of equal representation between men and women. In this presentation, I argue that AFL uses representational codes such as perspective and composition to enhance a sense of dynamic movement in the moment. Drawing on Jessica Maddox's understanding of representation, these moments are a stark contrast from the idealized perfection. This image may be a perfect snapshot of two teams, but it doesn't expose the challenges, difficulties, and outcomes during or after this moment in time. The composition of the image prominently focuses on the players and the ball, but doesn't represent the reality of the external factors, such as the crowd, the field, the rest of the team, everything else that's going on the field.